Okay, so this is the second video on Wordclouds. What we are going to do here is simply to add some silhouette to a text in order to generate word cloud like that. Okay, so in the first video, we got some text from the Gutenberg website. I copy paste, and I have explained to you how to copy paste that into Notepad, and then how to have it read by your by Python once it has been uploaded into your Google environment, like it is uploaded here. So we will need a few more files that I will provide to you, and that you will need to upload into your Google environment if you want to replicate what I have done here. Well, actually, trying to generate word cloud with mask is not necessarily very difficult. And this video should try to help you or to guide you into doing this. Okay, so basically this part here, you know it. We installed the library Wordcloud. We did that in the previous tutorial. We install Matplotlib. If you want to embed the word cloud into a figure where we can attach or add some titles and things like that. I have also installed NumPy, which is numerical Python, to do some mathematics sometimes. And as you see, if you click on those, you will see requirements already satisfied. So it has been pre-installed into your Google Colab environment. So strictly speaking, you really don't need to do that. When you want to install two libraries at the same time, instead of saying pip install matplotlib and then write pip install numpy, you can write that this way. Okay, both names. The names of both libraries in on the same line. Okay, and then we need to import those libraries. So you can see that I'm importing matplotlib, and the alias will be PLT. So later on, when you see PLT, it refers to that matplotlib library. Okay, and I import some patches. So we have seen that in the previous video. From the Wordcloud library, we are importing Wordcloud. Notice that it's not written the same. You have capital letters here and stop words. And we are also using a PIL library that we have discussed before in the PIL tutorial for image processing. And NumPy is imported with alias NP. And basically, as in the previous tutorial, okay, we are opening and reading this file, Alice Novel Chapter 1. Maybe I can run this. I ran it before, so that's why maybe I don't really need to do it, but okay. So on those lines, I have explained them in the previous video, so I'm not gonna re-explain that again. We are using a list of stop words. Okay. So up to here, it's the same as before. Okay. And now I'm using the PIL library, which is digital image library, image processing, I'm sorry, library. And from that PIL, so I have done a previous tutorial, okay? So I don't want to go into the details of that because I already went into the details of that. But you can see that I'm importing some modules from that library: image, image draw, and image font. And the reason why I'm importing this one in particular is because I'm gonna first draw a silhouette mask, okay? And it will look like that, okay? And so that you understand better what's involved into a silhouette mask. Actually, you know, if you go back to my tutorial on PIL, you will see that I already show you how to create a new pictures from scratch. And this line here actually create a new image from scratch, okay, and it will be a grayscale image. So it's not a RGB image, as I have explained, but the dimension of the image will be 485 pixel along the width and 485 along the height, okay? And the number 155, so that's a number between 0 and 255, 0 for the color black, and 255, 65, 55 for the color white. So just that line would create actually, and 155 is some kind of gray. So this first line would create that big square that you see in gray, not the black square, okay? But if you want to draw a rectangle, here it's a square, which would be all black, what you would need is to call this specific drawing library from the PIL image library. And I have explained that in the PIL tutorial, so I don't want to go into the detail, but this function basically creates an object that I have called draw, and it passes the mask. So the square, the grayscale square that I have drawn here with that line, and it permits us to draw something on that mask, on that variable here. For example, if you want to draw a rectangle, okay, you may simply say, well, you know, draw dot rectangle, and then put some numbers here. The 100 correspond. Remember, this is 485, and this is basically 100. The second number is 100 in that direction. 385 is actually the width. So from 100, this is the width of that square. Or actually, I think that it's not the width. I think that I should put that this is top, left top, right, and bottom. I think this is more correct like that. So basically, the number here says that, well, you know, this goes up to 485. So 385 goes up to here. Okay, so with those other references, you are creating a square which starts from 100 and 100 and finish at 385. And finish along the height at 385. So that's the dimension of the square if you want. You can notice as well that 100 plus 385 is indeed 485. So 100, 300, so this is 100, this is 285, and this is 100, okay? So try to work a little bit on that, okay, and play around with those parameters. And the fill equal to 0 is that you say the color that you want. So basically, you say that you want this to be black, okay? And you can draw as well ellipse, or circles or line here. So I will let you play with that. But if I run this, I'm getting indeed, and if I type mask, I'm getting this figure here. Now, I go through the details of all that because actually working with mask is not always very easy because most people don't really understand what's involved in those masks. Okay, I have put 155, but what I want to say is that when you create a mask from scratch like that, you really need to have a value of you need to have a white background. Okay, so you need to have actually 255. So if I click on that and look, I instead of requiring a square, I have asked to draw an ellipse and a line. Okay, if I run this, and you see that now it's no more gray, but it's white. And actually, the reason why I did it in gray here is that you don't even realize that in white because it's white on white. Okay, so but here clearly you can see it. I have imposed this to be gray, to be white. And basically, I have drawn an ellipse, this thing here, and a line. Again, play with those parameters. So again, this is not correct. This is right, left, top, right, and bottom, I guess. I think that's it. So the lines start at 40, 40, something like that. And it finished at 450, 450. Of course, you know, if you really want to see what's going on, you need to put a color, okay? Like if you put that, you understand better, okay, this 485 is the length. 485 is the length. And those parameters tell you how to draw the line, for example, 40, 40, 450, 450. The width of the line, okay, if I put 10, it will be very thin. Okay, if I put 100, it will be quite big as before. Okay, and remember what I really want is actually a background which is equal to white, so I put 255 here. So now I have my mask. And you know, one of the things that is important when you create a word cloud with a mask is that actually you are not going to pass the mask per se in, so that's the same thing as we did before, okay, in the previous video. But you know, now instead of having mask is equal to none, we are going to have mask is equal to data, and data is actually not the image per se, but the data behind the mask. Okay, and first, if I write this way, so you see that I'm calling the library numpy, which permits me to see or to create an array with this picture here. Okay, if I run this, you see the information that you get. You are told that it's a picture 485 pixel by 485. You see the picture, but you can see as well the data. And you know, the 255 that you see, all those numbers make reference to this thing here. Okay, so it's an indication for you that the background of the picture is indeed white. And basically, when you do the mask, you simply have to pass this into this code line. Okay, we have seen this type of code line in the previous video. Before I had none. Now I have the data that I have created here from this picture that I have drawn here. So what else can I say? So the rest is the same. Maybe you will realize that now I don't have any width or length here in this as parameters here. And the reason is that the width and the length of the word cloud will be controlled by basically the width and the length of the mask. So let's try. So I insist on the fact that the only thing which is changed from the previous tutorial is this thing here. And you don't see width and length here as in the previous formula, like here. See, initially, in the very first one, I had width and height. Okay, so you don't see it. And before you had mask is equal to none, and now you have mask is equal to the data which interline that figure. Okay, so if I run this, that's what I'm getting. So the text of this text here now is squeezed into that mask. Okay. Oh, by the way, we have seen some masking in the PIL tutorial that I made before. Okay, so you can go back to understand this code lines in the previous tutorial. So of course, you can see the dimension. It's 485, 485 comes from this. Okay, the 485 that you see here. Okay, so now you can add the rectangle as I did in the previous tutorial. Of course, here you can eventually get rid of those numbers. And you can do this, and you have a nice word cloud that you can improve on if you decide to embed this word cloud into a matplotlib figure. Okay, and that line here, I have explained that in the previous tutorial. I have explained this in the previous tutorial. This thing here is exactly the same as before, but now you see that I have a title. Yeah, so if I run this, you are going to get this with the mask. Clearly, this thing here is what you see here. Okay, and the words from this text are squeezed. So basically, the idea of a mask is that you cannot have anything outside this mask. Okay. Now, of course, well, this is not a very beautiful mask. You can get on Google browser, if you type silhouette mask for word clouds, you can get different type of silhouette. Like here, I have typed this, okay, and you can see that we can find, well, this one here, some different shapes, and you can try different of those shapes. And sometimes, if I don't know, you can type silhouette mask for word clouds, and then maybe the one that you would like Peter Pan, or I don't know, and then you can save that either probably as a PNG format, if it is a PNG format, and then upload that into your Google Colab. And see, I have uploaded two of those images. And you will see that this one works well, and this one, you have to transform it in order to have it work. And I think that this is the confusion, and this is the problem. And that's why I created a mask for you from scratch, in order for you to understand what's the issue. So basically, I will give you this silhouette mask, this one here, but I mean, you will need to upload that into your Google Colab environment. As we have done in the PIL tutorial, you need to open it, assign it a name, mask1, and then you can type mask1 again to see the pictures. So let's do it again. You can ask what's the size of this. Okay, if you click on that, it tells you, well, it's 485 pixels in that direction and 595 in that direction. And you can, again, remember, you don't pass in the Wordcloud class constructor, you don't pass the image per se, you pass some data. So you have to transform the mask in that's called a NumPy array. That's NP comes from the NumPy library. Array is basically a function, and you pass the mask that you just created, this thing here, and it will give you the data underlying the mask. And so basically you see that the dimensions are 595 by 483. We can ask for the data, and you see the way it has been coded. We have seen that in the PIL tutorial. We have basically the good sign is that you have 255 everywhere. So it has been coded as a PNG image with the three channels are equal to 255. So it's gonna give you a white background, okay? Basically those numbers are it's the first line and the last line, or the first several lines and the last several lines. And it tells you that basically all those lines are indeed in white. Remember the background is white and the screen is white, so you don't really see it. But this thing here is white and this thing here is white, and I can affirm you that it is the case because I see those numbers. 255 refer to the color white. Now, so basically, if you have that from the image that you pick from the internet, like this one, if you get this type of results, if you see full of 255, it means that the background is white. And then you can basically pass the value of those, well, the data one, here, I call it data one. And you are going to be able to do your mask. It's as easy as that. Okay, and all those code lines, I have explained them in the previous tutorial. And here is your mask, okay? And you can see here the dimension of the mask, which is given here by those two numbers, 485 and 595. You can see it here. And you see your mask. Your mask is done, okay? And once it's done, you can remove the numbers along the axis, and you have a nice mask for your word cloud. It's very simple. If you want to embed that into an image by Matplotlib, you need to introduce this line here. See, I have. You can also impose the dimension that you want here, and so increase or reduce the image, whatever you want. You can put a background for the around the word cloud. You can put a rectangle, and if I run this is what you get. So you have a much better word cloud than what we did in the previous tutorial. You can play with actually, here, in the previous tutorial, usually I kept only a very small number of words, 50. But if you want to to have a clearer pictures, you can add more words. And then, like you can try with 50 words and see what I mean by that. If I put only 50 words, you will see that the picture will not be as good. See, you have less detail. And then nobody will really realize that this is the silhouette of Alice. But if I put 2000, you clearly see the silhouette formed by those words, actually. What else? Maybe I change. That's it. That's the only thing I have changed, the number of words. And clearly the fact that I'm referring to a mask, which is not the picture itself of the mask. So it's not this, but it's the number or the values of the pixels underlying these pictures. And for those who are a bit lost, I urge you to go and listen to the PIL tutorial, because that's where I have explained all those values for pixels. Yeah, you can also, again, if you want to have a clearer pictures, you can play with maximum font size and minimum font size of words. So not only you can choose the number of words, but you can say, well, the font size of these words, at the minimum, it might be 0, for example. And the maximum font size is 335. And if you play with that, those two numbers, you will see that actually, the resolution here is quite different from this picture here. So that's because here I have introduced those two parameters, 35 and 0. And then you can, if I put a 10 here, you can see the impact. See, it's not, it does not look the same, right? I can put 1, maybe. I'm not sure why I have picked 0 per se, but let's see. So 1 give you that. And actually, if I look at that, and if I look at that, I think that the resolution is better here. It looks, like, see, the arms are better defined and well. Anyway, play a bit with this thing. I'm gonna go back to 0. And so basically, in principle, it's not very difficult. The difficulty is that you will get, though, is that not all image that you can get from Google Colab will work very well. For example, I have picked another silhouette mask. Unfortunately, I didn't get the link, so I don't know whether it's this one or that one or this one here. But basically, you can see here that I will give you those files, okay? Now I'm using Silhouette 2, and I open it with the image, the PIL image module, and I call it mask 2 to not confuse with mask 1 that we work with. And you can see the size. The size is not the same as the size of the other silhouette mask. And so basically I have resized it maybe to have it bigger. So if you take the mask and you type resize, you are able to create a bigger mask. And that's why now, if I click on mask 2, I have increased the mask. So now maybe, the best way maybe is, to see what's the problem with this mask is to transform the mask and to try to get the numbers, the values of the pixel behind this mask. And if I introduce this line of code, and I call that data 2 instead of data 1, that you can see here, data 1. For mask 1, now it's data 2. if I click on that, look, okay, we see the dimension, 795 is this number that you see here, 685 is this number here, and you can see the picture. Actually, you see clearly that the picture is on a black background, and you are going to get problems to use that as a mask. Okay, and if I show the data, you see that you have 0 everywhere. And so it means that you will not be able to use this silhouette mask in order to create your word cloud. Let's suppose that I'm using that without transforming those data. Then basically I simply pass data to, which is this thing here, which are this matrix of numbers of 4 pixels. If I run this, you see that I'm getting my word cloud, but I'm not getting the mask, the silhouette. Okay, so that's clearly useless now. That's not what I wanted to do. The dimension is correct. You see it's good dimension with respect to the resize that I have imposed here. But it does not work. So in order for this silhouette mask to work, what you would need to do is to replace all those zeros by 1. So every time you see, because those masks are created so that you have white and black. Okay, if you suggest to replace all the black by white, you should be able to get 255 here instead of zeros. And I'm not gonna go into the program, but because it's a bit more difficult. But you can see the essence of the program here. If the value that you see is equal to 0, return 255. If not, return the value that you see. Okay, so if it's 0, return 255. If the pixel has a value different from 0, keep the value that it is here. Now you see little dots here. It means that you don't see exactly all the values of the pixel. You just see the first line and the last line. Okay, so it's a bit problematic, but I don't want to get into that. But what is sure is that those numbers that you see should be equal to 255, and the number every time you have a 0 in this matrix, it will be replaced by 255. So let's see. Sometimes it works, sometimes it will not work. Okay, but and I'm basically superimposing on or creating a new data that I call data tree, and let's see what it gives me. You can see the shape. So the shape is the same as before, right? But now I can, ask, okay, show me the mask, and see, look, the black has disappeared. Okay, and if I ask to show the data, you see 255 everywhere. So now I can pass this into my word cloud as mask is equal to data tree, and if I do that, I will be able to generate my mask. So that's basically what I wanted to show you here. See, I have put maximum word is equal to 200. Maybe you can increase that. I'm not sure what it gives, but let's try. So we get a better resolution as before. Yeah, okay, so I have a second example for you. See, I have, as before, from Gutenberg project, I guess, I got a text, peterpan.txt, And actually, this time I have explained in the previous video that sometimes you need this encoding. I cannot explain to you, or you can go to Google and type those numbers and see what it means, okay? But in general, okay, in text, you don't have just, the regular ASCII characters. You have many different characters. And so a computer will have difficulties to read unconventional characters that you may get in a text, especially if the text is in foreign languages. So this will make the trick. And if you run it without this, you will see as I did for the Alice novel chapter 1 text, you will get a problem. Maybe I can, if I remove this, Control X, X. Let me put it there. It's already there, but Control V. So again, remember, every time there is a hash key, Python forget that, jump over it. So now I know if we try to run this thing, see, it tells me there must be an error. UTF-8 codec can't decode. When you have something like that, you need to encode something, okay? So if I add this Control X, and I put it here, Control V, I have my encoding, and that should help me to read the text. So it tells me there is no mistake, no error. So I have opened this file here with that function open. The file is this one, Peter Pan text. You may need the R or not. The R means this is a file to be read. Okay, when you see a W, it means this is a file to be open because we want to add something in the file. So you would have a W here for write. Okay, but here we just want to read it, and clearly, this thing here, this text has been assigned to an object that I call, or a variable that I call file. And if I apply the .read function or method to file, I will be able to create a new variable called text that I will use in my word cloud, like wordcloud.text. So let me run that again. This we have seen before. Here is the mask. So I will give you that as well. That's that Peter Pan silhouette mask. And you see here, actually, there is some black and there is some color here. So you can get some color. What is very important is that try to get some, very well-defined shape. When you go to silhouette mask in Google Colab. So let's try this. I'm reading this. I'm calling. So I open the image, and I call this mask for mask Peter. We can see the mask, and now I can look at the dimension of the mask. And remember, what matters is not the mask, the image per se, it's the number behind those image. It's the number that you get from for the pixels of the image, which matters to create the mask. Okay, so you see 255 everywhere. It shouldn't be problematic. Here, you can see there is a 4 number. So each pixel is defined by the blue, red, green, but it's a combination of 255, so it would give you a black pixel. And the 0 is for the transparency of the pixel per se. I have explained that in the PIL tutorial. So you have 255. It seems that it should work. Okay, so it seems that the background is indeed white. And basically, I can pass this. I have called it data form. I can pass this into this mask is equal to, and that's the only thing which is different from the previous tutorial. Okay, so the rest has been explained. And here is the mask. Okay, and you can see the dimension. You can remove the dimensions of the numbers along the axis if you want. And you can put that into embed the word cloud into a figure, a matplotlib figure. Here I have chosen a specific color. Actually, this is the color, the official color of University of Ottawa. And that's the HEX number of the color. And so if I run this, and nothing has changed from the previous tutorial, okay? Besides the fact that I'm calling a specific mask, which is the one that we have worked with before, okay? This one here, which is the array version of that picture. And here is the mask. Okay, so and you can see, how did I generate those color here? Silver. I have used silver for the text here. For this line here comes from this thing here. Color is equal to gray. You can play with the line white. So the thickness of this thing, the border. I have explained all that in the previous tutorial. Now, you could always add the logo. It's a bit more difficult. I will not go into the details of it. I will give you the notebook so you could replicate it. But so here I simply uploaded the logo of the university. I have explained that when we have worked with the QR code. It's exactly the same as what we did when we built the QR code. You can see the shape. It's 268 pixel in that direction and 1002 in that direction. So let me run this. And I simply added this, but it's more difficult. So I'm not gonna go and explain that because that would force me to explain something else related to matplotlib, and I'm not yet there. Okay, so at this stage it's a bit too complicated. You will see that those lines here have been added to create a box which permit me to embed the logo of the University of Ottawa. But this is quite much more advanced than what I want to teach for the time being. But if you run this, basically you will see that now I have added the logo of the University of Ottawa just here. Okay, and you can find probably where the logo is located in the pictures. Like if I think we will be able to see it if I do that. See, this thing here is located, somewhere between, 300 and something, and this must be around 700, okay? And if you look at that, 380 and 700. So this give you basically, or that's what I have put into the instruction in order to locate that exactly here. No, if I put, I don't know if I put 80 and 700 thing, what will happen to the pictures? So I try to give you some control. Okay, if I do that, see, you see it here. Why? Because you have chosen 30 as a value for the X values for the location of the logo. That's not what you want to do. You want to have it somewhere here. Okay, that's why I picked another values. And you have to go. It's by trial and error that eventually you are able to locate exactly where you want to have it. And you can, of course, you can play if you want to have it a bit farther away or a bit closer to. You can do it. You can play with this value here, and that's about it. Okay. You can theoretically you can use as well GPG color pictures to do masking, and I'm not gonna talk about that, but you will see if you run those code lines, you should be able to use pictures like that and to impose it as a mask and to create something like that. So now you see that the color of the words are actually the color of the pictures per se. So it's green and then pink and then orange and red, and you see green, pink, orange, and then some red here. So if you want to create a mask or a word cloud which looks like that, you can do it. I don't want to explain that; it's a bit more involved, and you can basically rework a little bit. This is too advanced, okay, and you can eventually embed this into a matplotlib figure. So, but that's about what I wanted to do, or to show you. Even this thing here is a bit too advanced for the time being, but the rest, being able to do that shouldn't be too difficult. So, as an assignment, I will ask you to go through the first tutorial on Wordcloud. Do a basic Wordcloud with a specific story that you want, and then try to embed that into a matplotlib figure, and eventually try to pick. You may actually either create your own mask, as I did here, or you may try to get pictures from Google Colab, silhouette pictures like that. Okay, so try if you type silhouette for mask, word cloud, something like that, as I wrote here. You should be able to see pictures like that. Some will work, some will not work. And what I have tried to do in this tutorial is to show you why some of those do not work. It's because you have a background which is black and not white. It's because you have zeros and not 255. If you see 255, you should be often okay. But if you see zeros for the background, that will create problems. Okay, so that's it for these videos on word clouds.